Unfortunately, its true purpose is something much more sinister. Entertainers and celebrities are the court jesters of the modern day, dancing by virtually every metric imaginable. This planet is in very good health. When the Capitol was stormed by Antifa and the security let them through, the fake news had an interesting spin. They seemed to have collectively decided that there was racism involved. As a general rule, if your argument starts with racism, you have lost the argument. Black Lives Matter and Antifa burn down cities, just like the protesters in Washington, D.C. this past summer. If BLM organized a march or held up signs in protest outside police departments, no one would object. However, they burn down homes and businesses. Liberals look at every single thing through the prism of skin color and intersectionality. Conservatives judge people on the content of their character. The rollout of the China virus vaccine has been going out just fast enough for all of the sheep to get inoculated. However, although it has been efficient, the most important spokespeople, nurses, are dubious. In droves, many nurses are refusing to take even the first shot. At Pruitt Health, for example, fewer than 3 in 10 are taking it. They are afraid of unforeseen side effects, and rightly so. I would not use a product if I had no legal option should something go wrong. Despite offerings of bonuses and other fringe benefits, they have held strong. If the people that will be delivering the shot do not trust it, why should we? Free speech is one of the cornerstones of our society, which is why so many people that despise America want this to be dismantled. Case in point, institutions of higher learning. It is no secret that these institutions are largely liberal. Naturally, most believe in evolution, even if there is no empirical data to back up their claims of millions of years. Presently, if a school or professor does not officially support evolution, there are a few layers of protection to keep them from losing their accreditation. The Higher Education Opportunity Act could strip this protection permanently. Thus, to get an accredited degree, students would have to go to a school that officially believes in evolution and get brainwashed into believing the single most ridiculous and non-scientific hypothesis in human history. Banning Alex Jones was just the start. Now they are banning the President of the United States because he encouraged insurrection, even though there is no evidence that he did. They are even banning Ron Paul for reasons. This was not enough, because Parler was taken down as well. Conservatives were told that if they did not like it, they could make their own Twitter. And we did. And as usual, Dorsey is so happy that it was destroyed. And now, anything associated with MAGA rallies may be considered a terrorist act. Half of all patriotic protests might be dismantled. How dare we support one country over all of the others? Things are going to get very bad very quickly. It will be even worse if the Democrats can amend Section 230. The report that claimed that Antifa was caught by facial recognition has been retracted. Naturally, I removed the video where I mentioned this grievous error. However, there are still many things that just do not pass the sniff test. The mainstream media is saying that there is no evidence whatsoever that Antifa stormed or infiltrated the Capitol. I say that is par for the course, and if it was BLM, the media would call it mostly peaceful. However, I would be much more inclined to believe them if they had been doing something other than spreading fake news all day long. Like the koi fish that Trump overfed. Bubba Wallace's garage door cord that the FBI had to investigate. Calling burning cities mostly peaceful. Saying that the China virus would kill us all. The Steele dossier that was paid for by the Clintons. Claiming that boys wanted to cut a girl's dreadlocks. Blaming Trump for Biden's illegal actions. Smearing a teenager for standing and smiling. Lying about a bust of MLK, and many more. The mainstream media cannot be trusted, which is why alternative sites are popping up, and big tech is taking them down. Now, a representative of PBS says that the children need to be taken away if their parents are Trump supporters. Our tax dollars at work. Granted, he was fired, but how many more are out there? We already have members of Bernie Sanders' staff saying that we need to bring back gulags. How long before we have something like this?
Why have you got this desk so far away from the telescreen? It ought to be over there.
There's something in what she says, you know. She doesn't miss a thing.
I'll have to report you.
Nonsense, Selina, nonsense. Winston has nothing to hide. Have you, Winston?
I quite honestly am more than terrified. We already know that children can be taken away from their parents over gender identity nonsense. Is it really that much of a stretch? What would you do if someone mailed a letter and used it to orchestrate a terrorist attack? Would you shut down the post office? What if it was done over the phone? You would not shut down either one because neither company was complicit in the attack. So why is Parler being taken down? Amazon took down the site from their servers, and now Parler is suing based on antitrust laws. Google favors results from its own properties and search results, and buries the results that are not favorable to them. We as conservatives cannot give up now, but simply must make our voices louder than ever before. An FDA rule that forbids abortifacient by mail was upheld by the Supreme Court. Apparently, it was difficult for some women to get the pill during the pandemic, and thus the need for the drugs to come by mail. However, no one seems to be asking what the children that are killed in the womb had to say about all of this. This is not a reproductive choice. It is a death sentence for an innocent human being. The Democrats are trying to get rid of President Trump by impeachment. Again. Now they are saying that he orchestrated the terrorist attack on the Capitol building and then egged the terrorists on. Even though there is not the slightest shred of evidence to support this. They are officially rushing the process because everything was done in public, and so there is no need for hearings or investigations. Unofficially, they want to make sure everything is done in time to make sure that he is out before the 20th. This way, he does not get his presidential pension or Secret Service detail. Somehow, all of the cities that were burnt to the ground or chopped were not terrorism or insurrection. Double standards sicken me to no end. I went on Don the Pleb's channel this past Thursday. The video is linked in the description. While there are a lot of things that we disagree on, we do share one common goal: the end of this liberal nightmare. I do not want to resort to violence, but the only language that rioters would recognize if they came to my town was Smith & Wesson. Something that I only thought about afterward is that this is not just a political battle. It is also a spiritual battle. Abortion, euthanasia, and the like are matters of rejecting God's clear instructions. Meanwhile, Many other policies stem from rejecting God's sovereignty and replacing it with man's authority. Hold your civil servants' feet to the fire and continue to pray. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion.